Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Elvis, and you are watching Joan of Our House. In my last video, I completely forgot to do an outro, so it ended kind of weirdly and abruptly. That's fine, I'm not gonna do that again. That was my mistake. It is the last week of September, and I always record in like 10-day increments. So, from where I'm at, it's currently the 3rd of October. Um, I'm just so excited for Halloween. I'm excited for spooky season, and I'm all into it. Like I even have like a little Mothman that I've had for a few years. Look at him. Say hi. Hey. Yeah, see that? I put a TikTok video asking, needing help from you guys of horror recommendations, and do a little teaser, little sneak peek. Rosalia. Uh, I watched I watched your recommendation. Pretty dang good. Pretty dang good. I'm probably going to be watching all of those recommendations and those comments. I need to get into September. I need to stop talking and just start talking about movies. Today, in this episode, in this video, I'll be talking about the last week of September and all the movies I saw in it in my journey to watch 365 movies in 365 days. Let's get into it. Let's start talking about movies. The first movie that I saw in the last week of September was Adventures in Babysitting, 1987. There's something about this movie. It's not like it's not so memorable, but it is very charismatic. This whole movie just, I don't know how to explain it. It has very charismatic characters that just kind of keep you involved in the movie. And this is the only, actually, think about this movie like Jonah Hill's The Sitter, completely ripoff, and maybe Fun Size or The Good Boys or anything like that. Anything that involves like a bunch of kids who are just kind of being mischievous little kids. This is kind of what that movie is. In Adventures of Babysitting, I'll read you the synopsis. She thought babysitting was an easy money until she started hanging out with the Andersons. When plans with her boyfriend fall through, high school senior Chris Parker ends up babysitting the Anderson kids, Brad and Sarah. What should be a quiet night in, however, turns into a series of ridiculous exploits, starting when they leave the house to pick up Chris's friend, Brenda. Soon, Brad's buddy Daryl is involved, and the group must contend with car thieves, blues musicians, and much more. Actually, that's one thing I do want to talk about. There's a scene where they're getting chased, and the kids find themselves in a blues bar. Coincidentally, on the main stage. Let me simplify that for you. A bunch of white kids end up in a black blues bar, and the main singer there says nobody leaves here without singing the blues, and forces these poor salt and pepper chicken having ass white kids to sing the blues from the top of their heads. That was the most unbelievable part of this movie. And there's a kid hanging off of a skyscraper, and this has to be the most unbelievable part of the movie. That's like the biggest critique I have this movie. And that fuck ass kid's haircut. Other than that, this is a pretty fun movie. It was pretty fun. The next movie that I saw was Welcome Home, Roxy Carmichael. So I actually saw this a few months ago, and I only saw like maybe the first 30-ish minutes with Nicole. Hi, baby. We were just not about it. I don't think I necessarily liked it, but it was on my watch later or my watch list to continue watching, and I couldn't really find anything to watch. So I was like, whatever, let's just start it over and watch it again. If you're watching, Nicole, hey, baby. Turns out you watched it, and you were kind of telling me what happens in the end. And I was like, I guess I'll watch it. She doesn't want much, just a whole new life. Movie star Roxy Carmichael is abandoning the bright lights of Hollywood, Caliph, and returning to small town Ohio, at least long enough to dedicate a city building. And now the whole town of Clyde is bracing for Carmichael's return. Most of all, her now married old flame Denton Webb and troubled teen Dinky Bonsetti, an orphan with few friends. Dinky is convinced that Carmichael is her birth mother and that the actress will reclaim her when she returns. Winona Ryder is in this. Jeff Daniels is in this, and it's whatever. It's fine. I didn't really care about this movie, but I watched it. I think maybe knowing the ending maybe ruined it for me, but I wasn't really interested in it in the first place, so it didn't ruin it for me per se. But it's whatever. There's all these cute scenes where Winona Ryder's character Dinky is hanging out with her animals like by a lake. And I think she's got like a pig, a bunch of chickens, a dog, a cat, and all these other animals. And it's whatever. This movie does nothing for me. It's whatever. Actually, this movie can go kick rocks. The next movie that I saw was Red Line, or commonly known as
Directed by Takeshi Koike.
Red Line, the most violent race in the universe. A daredevil driver is determined to compete in Red Line, the most popular race in the galaxy. The race only occurs every 5 years, but in order to participate, he must overcome the mafia, the government, and even love. I was having a headache when I watched this movie, so this movie didn't help at all. But my god, dude, the first like 10 to 20 minutes of this movie is just so action packed. It like grips you and it doesn't let go of you. You know that meme where it's like,
grab my hand, grab my hand. Now we wait. We wait for that. Now we go. Keep holding my hand. Keep holding my hand. Keep moving. Keep your feet. Why is your hand slipping?
It is like that for almost the whole movie. This thing is crazy. All right. This was my review. If you're jumping into this blindly like I did, buckle up because you have no idea what you're about to watch. The story is pretty bland, with what I think the more interesting plot is. The gambling fixed races side story seemed a little more interesting story wise. The action is over the top, nearly ridiculous gravity warp of speed. The character designs are really cool and really fun. This movie is really cool. I mean, if I'm trying to think, if you're a fan of like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, or I don't know. Actually, I'm not too into anime, so I don't even know what to compare this to. This movie is crazy. There's a scene where, in the very beginning, it's not too much of a spoiler, where they have these like gold capsules that they pop into their fuel, and then it like disintegrates like an Advil pill, and then runs through the fuel system, and then there's this huge burst in speed. Think about it in like NOS, and it stretches like gravity, and it like everything becomes like super stretched, and then they just burst into speed. And yeah, this was really cool. I did not really know that it took place in like some kind of future galaxy, whatnot, where all these like different species of aliens came together to race. So that was really cool. There's a part in the end where the race gets interrupted, It's not too much of a spoiler, but all I could think about was Akira. And I thought, this movie is not what I thought it was gonna be, and it just completely did a 180, and I have no idea what I'm watching, but I'm here for the ride. Pun intended. The next movie that I saw was 1917. This is The Enemy. At the height of the First World War, two young British soldiers must cross enemy territory and deliver a message that will stop a deadly attack on hundreds of soldiers. I saw this movie a bunch of times when it came out in theaters. I bought it. I have 2 copies of this movie. That is a different story of itself. What a complicated situation that was. Anywho, I got the movie. I watched it. I watched it a bunch. That's besides the point. This movie is so beautifully and masterfully shot. I think it took them months to design, if not a year, to design how they were going to shoot it, where to cut, and like the technological ways on where they needed to cut and how did they keep that seamless throughout the entire movie. This movie was well known for the movie with no cuts. There is cuts. This movie is so damn brilliant. It is so damn powerful. It's beautiful. It's horrible. It's gruesome. It's motivating. It's inspiring.
He's gay, but he has a special connection to classical music. There's many things that are interesting about him.
This movie is beautiful. I love it, and wow, absolutely wow, I love this movie. The next movie that I saw was Wing Chun, 1994. Martial arts expert Wing Chun battles bandits in this magical film that provides as many laughs as it does wallops. Wallops. Besides horse thieves, Wing Chun must deal with the men around her who simply cannot handle a strong, independent woman. Ultimately, she must dish out lessons again and again and again until the respect for her remarkable skills is finally won. So I came into this movie thinking it was going to be a very serious martial arts drama, such as Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or any of the Jackie Chan movies. But those are funny as well. I didn't know that this was a very funny, comedic martial arts movie. So when I was watching this, I was like, why is everybody laughing? We should be kicking ass. And she is kicking ass, just in a funny way. Donnie Yen's character, who hasn't seen Michelle Yeoh's character in I think 15 to 20 years or something, he doesn't recognize her and only sees this young, beautiful woman, and says, oh, that's Wing Chun, that's my childhood friend who I'm destined to be in love with. And buckle up, I'm gonna start yapping. So Donnie Yen's character is in love with the fake Wing Chun, and is oh my god, you're so beautiful, and how come you don't remember any of the stuff that we did when we were kids, catching crickets or playing in the water, swimming. And the fake Wing Chun is just playing with it, oh yeah, I do remember that. But then the real Wing Chun is what? I don't want anybody to know me. So Donnie Yen's character starts ranting about the fake Wing Chun to the real Wing Chun, Michelle Yeoh, and he's it's just she doesn't remember who we how we used to play, and it just makes me worried because I can't be with somebody who doesn't share those memories or experiences with me. And then it finally clicks on him that Michelle Yeoh is the real Wing Chun, and he's you're the person, you're my best friend from so many long ago. You're supposed to be my fiance. This movie was just alright. I'm gonna stop yapping. The next movie that I saw was The Killer. One vicious hitman, one fierce cop, 10,000 bullets. Mob assassin Jeffrey is no ordinary hired gun. He's the best in his business. He views his chosen profession as a calling rather than as simply a job. So when a beautiful nightclub chanteuse Jenny is blinded in the crossfire of his most recent hit, Jeffrey chooses to retire after one last job to pay for his unintended victim's sight restoring operation. But when Jeffrey is double-crossed, he reluctantly joins forces with a rogue policeman to make things right. This movie was so damn good. This was truly such an exciting movie. I love this so dang much. Johnny Woo is the best. Chow Yun-fat is the coolest, and his bromance with the cop is so cool. It's actually really cute. If you're watching this, if you're a fan of End of Watch, homies being homies, homies that started off as enemies, John Wick, and if you're a fan of the Wu-Tang Clan's Raekwon, dude, you're gonna love this movie. If I can put the song in, I will. If it cuts out, it cuts out. Dude, this movie is so damn cool. All right, let me go back. It starts off with Chow Yun-fat in these gangster ass suit, all black with the white tie, and I think he's got a hat. I don't know, I can't remember. But he's got two guns. He always shoots a Kimbo style. Isn't that shit cool? So there's like a door in front of him. He like knocks, and I think he shoots the people, shooting the guy in the head. But then he like runs and hits the door, so that like it falls in front. Like, so there's the door. He jumps with his back to it, so that when the door falls, he would be laying on the ground, and he's out there shooting. Bah, 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 bah. Oh my god. And then he starts like, I think he's got like two 1911s or like two Berettas, but he's just going bah, 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 bah. This dude is killing it. Then he runs out of ammo. What does he do? He picks up an enemy's gun, a revolver. If you know, you know. I'll explain it. There's one guy left. He pulls out a revolver, and this lady, she's a singer of this club, he like dives in to protect her, but he gets shot in the back. He falls down. He starts trying to get up, and like the singer starts getting up. So when he like points his gun up to kill the guy that just shot him, her face is right next to the gun. And if you don't know, because there's a lot of like opening compartments in a revolver, such as like the cylinder, when you shoot the gun, the gas is exhausted through the sides, and it is an incredible amount of pressure that is being expelled through the sides of the revolver. And this poor lady's face was right next to all that gases, so all that pressure and gas burned her eyes. Tragic. It's horrible. But Chow Yun-fat's character Jeffrey gets the final kill and notices the wrong and accident that he just committed. Taking off his white scarf, he wraps it around her eyes and is there to protect her and to make sure that she's okay. Unfortunately, he is a hired assassin, so he has to leave. Chow Yun-fat is like such a musician. That dude is such a blues dude. He's playing the harmonica in this movie. He is there comforting and reassuring and being a friend to that singer lady. And I think they're starting to develop feelings or something. It is very cute. It's very romantic. But you know what else is cute? His bromance with the cop. Dude, like there's a scene where they're both being friendly to the singer at her apartment, but they're pointing guns at each other. But she's blind. She can't see. So they're like pointing guns at each other like, hey, this is just my friend. Yeah, this is just my other friend. We call him Mickey Mouse and Dumbo. Dumbo? Yeah, we're just old friends. Dude, it is so cool. Uh, if you have a homie, if you have friends, watch this movie with them. I might watch it again with them. This movie is so damn cool. Um, fuck yes, I love this movie. Got a little too excited in that one. The next movie that I saw was A Violent Cop. A detective breaks all rules of ethics. Damn, bro, I can't read. A detective breaks all rules of ethical conduct while investigating a colleague's involvement in drug pushing and yakuza activities. This really is a change on movies, jumping from Johnny Woo's filmography to this was kind of a shock for me. This movie takes its time and is a lot slower than I expected, so it took me a while to get into the same vicious rhythm and slow, thoughtful thinking. The way the movie builds on tension without you seeing or knowing the outcome, and then to see the end, it just feels like I got out of a car wreck. I'm tired, I'm sad from all the violence. It's exhausting. So I don't think this is my first Takeshi Kitano movie. But man, this was tough. It was slow. It is exhausting. There's a lot of dialogue that happens where you have to, I guess, figure out what's going on and what's happening in the story. And the action sequences aren't as necessarily very loud, but they are crucial for the movie. Especially the very last final shootdown. Oh my god, dude, I was just exhausted. I mean, if you've seen this movie, you know what happens at the end. But probably one of my favorite shots is the last scene. It is incredibly sad and exhausting, but there's this gunshot that comes from the dark, and it leaves like a smoke O. And I thought, fuck, that's kind of cool. And then this person comes out of the shadows, and you're like, wow, that was insane. And I'm exhausted. You know how, like, when a movie is like too tense, too graphic, too you know? Think about like a really bad or horrific documentary, like the Jeffrey Dahmer show or movie or whatever. Dude, I couldn't watch that stuff. I just felt so exhausted. I felt so damn depressed afterwards. I was like, just get me out of here, man. Cool movie though. The next movie that I saw was The Way of the Gun. Choose your side carefully, because the only way out is the way of the gun. Two criminal drifters without sympathy get more than they bargained for after kidnapping and holding for ransom the surrogate mother of a powerful and shady man. I really liked this movie, but the end somehow left me unsatisfied. I wanted something different. I felt like the repression on things that they could have done differently, and the lines are really good, and James Caan is awesome in this too. I was hoping that the end of them. So I'm a pretty big fan of Benicio del Toro's acting and whatever he does. I mean, you probably might recognize him from Sicario, especially that end scene where he has the gun, or he does the same here in The Way of the Gun, and I wanted more from this movie, and I felt like this movie was like hesitating or something. But for example, there's a shootout scene where instead of staying at the place where things are going down, they leave, which is very odd in the situation because they need that person. Backup arrives and is there to like rescue them. But they are like formally trained with a sniper gun, and the other white guy, he's a spotter, and they're doing things very well. They have like exit routes and whatever. But I wish they would have kind of went on deeper into that. Like, how did they get these skills? Where do they come from? And how did they meet? Equally as cool. Maybe, oh, well, maybe not as cool. But the bodyguards. There's a scene where that's almost spoiler territory. I shouldn't talk about it. They're just so cool. But there was a car wreck and they get out nonchalantly, and man, I don't know if it was like a catway, like a runway, but they were just walking, like, disengaging their guns and taking it apart and throwing it away. And it was really good. The next movie that I saw was Buffalo 66. Billy Brown just got out of jail. Now he's going home to serve some real time. He's going home. Billy is released after 5 years in prison, and the next moment he kidnaps teenage student Layla and visits his parents with her. Pretending she is his girlfriend, they will soon marry. This movie is... dude, I have so many mixed feelings about this movie. Like, it is a very good movie, but it is done in a very not so good way. Christina Ricci's in this, and she was only 17 in this movie. Writer and director and actor to this was Vincent Gallo, and this guy was truly legit a fucking psycho in this movie. So liking this movie is like liking fucking you see where I'm going? I'm going crazy just thinking about this movie. This was my review because I can't even think of words right now. God bless those who related to this movie. This is a very problematic movie, and even Ricci admitted she was way out of her head when she made this movie and worked with a lunatic. I admit I do relate to this in a parent sense. The struggles of accepting love, but I don't want to relate to this creep who kidnaps this young girl and forces her to be in love with him, and he himself can't even love himself. The visual struggles of Billy as he demands love, but in turn can't accept it and is withdrawing from it constantly and doesn't know how to accept love nor give love. It's uncomfortable to watch and even sadder to see. Layla is hardly mentioned, but changed to Wendy, and it's the only time her name is mentioned, while she's the one putting up with this bullshit of a person and is some kind of way going through this Stockholm Syndrome character change. I wish she didn't stay, but at the same time she was so patient with him in ways I couldn't be. In the great words of Mama Ru, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love someone else? I personally struggled with that kind of parent sense. If you've seen this movie, there's a scene where the parents are just so in love with Christina Ricci's character, and they're like, "Oh my God, we love you. I can't wait to have grandchildren. You need to come back more often. Come back anytime you want. You're part of family. Daddy loves you," and all these things. Weird response, and all these things. And then when it comes to Billy, it's like, "All right, yeah, that's cool. See you later. It's fine. Yep, whatever you want, bro. See ya." And that's weird. That's weird. How do you treat your kids like that? And in some kind of way, I was treated like that. Not to, I guess, that extent, but cranked up to 11. That is the near fucking situation that I was in. The same fucking environment that I was in. And it was so hard for me to, be, genuine with people. I'm getting too personal. You don't need to hear that. In that sense, that is how I related to this movie. But I don't want to relate to this fucking creep. Fucking dickhead. This movie's good. If you have parental problems or something like that, you should watch this movie. You might like it. It might trigger something in you. Uh, it's it's whatever. Be nice to people, man. The next movie that I saw was Ballerina. This one I won't talk too much about because me and Nicole, we also watched this when we were doing our John Wick series. I'm trying to get that video. It's so hard. It's so hard to like schedule recordings. It's so hard to ask Nicole, my baby, hey, do you want to come into work today? I know you're very busy. It's whatever. The last movie that I saw in September was Misery. I thought the best way to get into this spooky, scary season was to watch a horror movie. And arguably one of a fantastic, maybe underrated, underappreciated horror movie that is so well done. Stephen King knocks it out of the park again. This horrific situation, and it is amazing. If you haven't seen this movie, please watch it. It is so good. It's not. Let me just read you my review. Paul Sheldon used to write for a living. Now he is writing to stay alive. After an accident, acclaimed novelist Paul Sheldon is rescued by a nurse who claims to be his biggest fan. Her obsession takes a dark turn when she holds him captive in her remote Colorado home and forces him to write back to life the popular literary character he just killed off. The way this movie isn't a horror movie, but more of a horrifying situation where your nerves are shot through the roof with anxiety. This is so damn good. And the end felt rushed by out of nowhere. There were further questions that needed answers, but I was still somehow satisfied. Oh fuck. This movie is very good. This movie's very, very good. It's not like a typical horror movie where there's some freak with a mask and who's got a machete or something and has some kind of supernatural power that this dude cannot be killed or something like that. This is more. It almost feels like a true crime, where that almost feels realistic in a sense. Yeah, I'm very sure this happened in real life. No, it didn't. But I mean, it's a very realistic, horrifying situation that is a very scary situation. So if you're jumping into this thinking that you're gonna find some kind of ghosts, goblins, or ghouls or something like that, this is not. This is not it. This is a situation that is life or death, and you are in the midst of it with Paul Sheldon, and damn, Kathy Bates is amazing in this movie. Holy hell, dude, gotta love Kathy Bates. This is such a good movie. Dude, I love this movie. It feels weird doing the outro without the little flames or whatnot. Welp, that is all of September, and finally doing horror movies, and I am super excited. I've been watching some very good movies that I don't think a lot of people have seen before, don't know, and I'm very happy. I'm very glad that I'll be talking about these movies to you. Shout out Rosalia for giving me that movie recommendation. And actually, shout out to everybody in that comment section on my TikTok and whoever gave me a movie recommendation. I'm very excited for this month, and I cannot wait. I'm more excited about this month than when I was here. Well, that is all the movies I saw in September. Please like, comment, and subscribe to see all the other movies. And please give me a movie recommendation. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See you guys later. Bye.